This dude right here do reviews to cars, electronics, all kind of stuff. So he got a car from China, and he's gonna say the caption is, "Are we cooked?" Make sure you put all the channels on stream so we can follow and subscribe. That's smart, Rude. That's why you my man's. That's why you my man's. I gotta do that. Uh, yeah. So homie is gonna.
All right, so there are a lot of hot takes in the tech world, and I see a lot of them in the comments
You
section
cut
and
your
articles
headset
all the
down.
time. And one of the most common ones is,
Sound
yo, have
loud
you
as
seen these
shit.
Chinese electric cars? If
Speaking of the Chinese electric cars, right? Fucking, I got. I do Uber. A guy, he was from Hungary. I was doing Uber for. He was telling about them Chinese electric cars. He said the motherfuckers are amazing, and that's why we can't get them over here. But man, I was wondering. So he doing a video on it, so we gonna check
they
it
ever
out.
came to the
That's why I
US,
wanted to
they
pick
would
this up.
cook everything that we have here. They are too good, they have too much tech, and they are too cheap to not dominate everything. And so I figured I should get my hands on one and actually figure out if that's true or not. And yeah, you could say there's a little something to it.
That's what the dude said. He said those cars over there are so much better than like Tesla, and they're way cheaper. And he said, bro, they would never let him over here. So let's see. I have a Tesla. That's why I'm so fascinated by this. I have a Tesla. That motherfucker look like a Model 3. It look
There are so many
a lot
crazy
like a
things
Model
I've learned
3.
about this car while I've been testing it, but let's just start with the basics. This car here I've been driving for the last 2 weeks is called the Xiaomi SU7. Yeah, that Xiaomi. So the Xiaomi that makes basically everything in China: tablets, headphones, robot vacuums, printers, appliances,
Damn.
and smartphones. And they even refer to the
Make
trims of this
everything.
car as the SU7, SU7 Pro, SU7 Max, and SU7 Ultra. So this here is the SU7 Max, and this retails for about 299,000 Chinese yuan, which actually converts to about $42,000 US,
42 band.
which
The dude was saying the cars over there was like 15,000. But I don't know. This might be like one of the super cars. He was like, it's like 15,000 and stuff. And apparently they have them in like Hungary and all kind of other countries, just not the U.S.
is going to be a lot more impressive in about 5 minutes. So base specs, this is a
42,000.
fully electric four-door sedan, 101 kilowatt hour battery, dual motor, all-wheel drive, 673 horsepower, and 320 miles of range. Already, those are specs on paper on the level of like a Tesla Model 3 Performance, which today costs like $55,000.
The new iPhone 17 Pro?
Make their holiday wish come true with AT&T.
Ads.
Get iPhone.
Now, looking around the outside of this car, it
Look
looks
like a Model
like
3.
a pretty reasonable car. I think a lot of people would agree. But that's the thing. This is Xiaomi we're talking about making this car. And they're not a car company, which means they don't have any previous designs that they have to pay homage to, or any traditional lines and shapes that they have to keep around, which means a little bit less prestige, yes, but also a little bit more freedom, because I see them taking stuff from all over the rest of the car industry in this car. Like these headlights, for example, that is very much a McLaren looking headlight, and they have lotus lines on the hood here. And then as you get back, even more. Kind of looks like a Porsche Taycan from the side profile, if I'm not crazy. It has these thin bezels like the Polestar, and then a thicker taillight across the back, which kind of looks maybe like a Lincoln or
back
some
gonna look like
others.
Model 3.
And then there's a fully active wing on the back that kind of looks like a Mercedes AMG GT. All of these are more expensive cars from more premium brands, and so they kind of meld them all together into one car with this kind of unique purple color that honestly I think looks pretty good. And we're not even on the inside yet. So the inside here is where they really start to stack the wins. This is a nice car, not just in like a nice with an asterisk type of way, like, oh, this is nice for a $45,000 car, or, oh, this is nice for a car I've never heard of. No, this is a nice car. It's got this pretty clean design all around the interior. Again, bringing in inspiration and premium features from a bunch of different places. Like these are comfortable, heated and ventilated leather seats. This heated steering wheel looks and feels a lot like a Porsche steering wheel to me.
Man, with them
with
buttons
the
on
shape
front.
and the simplicity and just a few buttons with stalks at the bottom. There's a big, bright, and
No, it's
automatically
Porsche.
aligning HUD in front of me, right in front of the road at all times. And that's right above a
What?
small display behind the steering wheel, and then a 16-inch primary display in the center. And then there's storage everywhere. There's here in the middle between the front seats, where they've also cleverly stored a flashlight powered by the car's battery, kind of like Rivian. And believe it or not, a tasteful amount of real hardware controls here. There's a power on-off button right here. There's temperature controls up and down, fan speed up and down at my fingertips. You can also put the wing up or down at the back of the car. And there's a lift height because there is, of course, an adjustable air suspension. Up at the top, there's a pair of air-cooled 50-watt wireless chargers because, you know, if you got a Xiaomi car, you might as well have a Xiaomi phone with 50-watt wireless charging to match. So those go up there. There's also a huge tinted glass panoramic sunroof over my head. Very nice feature. The headliner is all Alcantara everywhere.
Nice.
And there are 25 speakers in this car that sound really good, and ambient lighting everywhere that pulses to the bass of your music in the colors of the album art of the song that's playing, because it's connected to the car and it just knows that type of thing. And that's not even mentioning the backseat experience of this car, which is also really nice. Those screens for the rear passengers are Xiaomi tablets, because of course they are. I haven't even driven it yet, and it's already feeling like a $60,000, $65,000
I ain't even driven a car yet.
But there are not one, but two really cool features I've never seen in any other car that are in this one. So number one is the software. The software is so good. This feels like a preview kind of like what Apple might have done if they'd made an Apple car. I say that because it's super smooth, just like a smartphone, but also it's a car made by someone who makes a phone. And so the car plugs right into the Xiaomi ecosystem in so many ways. There's the wireless charger, but also wireless screen mirroring. It connects to various other Xiaomi smart home accessories like security cameras. You can sign into them with the car with your account. So everything from text messages to map directions are all syncing from your phone. And hey, if all else fails, thankfully as a backup, this car also happens to have wireless Apple CarPlay. And it's nice. I think it is the biggest, nicest window of wireless CarPlay I have ever seen in a car. I think probably my favorite example of the software being incredible in this car is you see the speaker in the headrest behind me. When I'm driving and my phone is paired to the speakers in this car and I'm navigating,
you got self-drive
though. You're driving and the music's getting pretty good, and right as the bass is about to drop, the navigation voice comes on and interrupts it. That never happens in this car because it separates out the voice from the navigation and puts it just in that speaker behind me, while all of the rest of the music and the sound in the car stays exactly the same. So as a driver, I hear the voice saying, turn left, turn right, but everything else, including the music for all the passengers, stays sick. That is my favorite software feature I've seen in a car in a while. So the software being awesome is the one thing, but the second awesome thing is the modules. Because this is a modular interior. Because hidden around this car are a bunch of various mounting points for modular accessories. There's one over here in the corner and another over here in the center, all the way around the back of this center display. And so on these mounting points, you can attach various accessories that Xiaomi makes, like this extra speedometer and trip display, or this magnetic car mount in the corner of the car, or this super useful USB hub that gets full power and can pass it along through a cable to passengers in the back seat or wherever they want. There's also high-quality microphones that pair to the car for a karaoke experience, or even long-range walkie-talkies for some reason if you need to maybe shoot a video with the car and communicate with the camera car. What other car does this? I've never seen the ability to customize exactly how much.
Those you can live without though. Like, yeah, I get it. It's all right, but you can live without that. You can live without that shit. You can really live without it.
Hardware, or how little hardware you have in the interior layout, like Xiaomi does. I mean, they're not a car company, clearly, but they've come up with some really innovative things to make the car uniquely your own. You can make it maximalist. You can make it minimalist. You can do as much or as little as you want.
Thanks.
And that'll, of course, fluctuate the price you pay, but hey, that's up to you. I think that's pretty sick. All of that is without even mentioning all the little stuff like the active noise cancellation in here, the quality of the speakers, the surround sound, all the other things that the software does really, really well. And I haven't even gotten to driving it yet.
The new
But they look nice.
So this is obviously a standard issue 4-door electric car, right? But the superpower of electric cars is that they can have multiple personalities. That's what makes these interesting. So in its default mode, which is comfort mode, it's pretty nice, actually. It rides super soft, it's chill. The air suspension is actually pretty incredible. I feel like this is on the same level of absorbing all these bumps and all these potholes and the things on the road as the Lucids that I've driven. Like, this is really quite good. And it never gets too unsettled. The accelerator pedal, it's responsive enough. It's not like super twitchy and aggressive. It's obviously the comfort mode, so you feel like you have all the power you need, but it rolls it on nicely and eases off when you remove your foot from the pedal. And what a lot of other EVs don't have is this really high degree of customization over exactly how that feels. Like, there is a full-on power delivery slider. You can move it to be a fully rear-wheel drive vehicle all the way to a fully front-wheel drive vehicle. And then the lift-off regen is nice and
cool.
secure and assuring. You never have to take the car out of this mode if you never wanted to. This is a very reasonable thing to expect from a 4-door electric car. But there's also a drive mode knob down here. If I just turn it one notch to the right, everything turns red. The graphics in front of me change. I get my estimated range and my speed and how much power I'm using. And then I rotate it again, and it's Sport Plus mode. And there's a G-force meter now, and now all of a sudden the accelerator pedal is way more responsive and twitchy, and everything firms up. And the steering is definitely heavier. So this feels much more like a fun type of drive, and it's not quite on the maxed out level. Like, I know people want to compare this to Porsche Taycan. This is not Porsche Taycan levels of sporty, but it's like one notch below that, which is still really good. It's got all the EV party tricks, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds, launch control,
EVs,
and
man.
even a little boost button where if you press the drive mode button, you get this crazy graphic on the screen, and then that's all of your power, which is sick. So obviously it does great in a straight line with 600 plus horsepower, but it kind of handles on the same level of Model 3 Performance or BMW i4. This is a really capable car. It's kind of like a wolf in sheep's clothes type of car where you see it on the road and it doesn't necessarily look like something that has Porsche 911 Turbo S horsepower, but it does. And so yeah, it just gives you this confidence of being able to place the car wherever you want on the road, and that is the
shows the
superpower
trunk or the
of
front.
electric cars. Plus, it's got these active bolsters. The seats are hugging me when I go around turns, so when I turn right, the left bolster kind of like hugs, like
I'm not
touches me a
going
little bit.
up
This is
fast.
something those very expensive G-Wagons have done and popularized for a while now. It's a little weird, not gonna lie, but it just makes you think it's doing something. It's also become much more apparent as I'm driving this car how well built it really is. It does not feel anything like the $42,000 price tag might suggest. Like, obviously the materials are one thing, and you've got these leathers all around and the stitching and these different contrasted materials, but also just in general, like, it's quiet in here. I don't hear motor noise. I don't hear wind very much. I don't hear other cars or noises around me outside the car. Like, I can verify that there are noises out there that I'm not hearing. It's sick. And then there's the active noise cancellation on top of that. So it just feels like a really serene, calm experience just because it's so well built. And you might have also noticed the LiDAR box right above me on the top of this car here, because the other button on the steering wheel is Xiaomi's full self-driving, which doesn't work on every road here in the US, but in China you have Pilot Pro and Pilot Max, and those will take care of almost all of the driving on almost all of the roads the same way something like a Tesla Model 3 might here in the US. So I've turned it on this road. This is a smaller single lane road and it's totally fine. And there's all sorts of things like obstacles that it has to avoid, and it handles that. It's never really done anything to give me pause or seem kind of weird, and it's not even designed for these roads or this market. So I imagine in China it's even better than this. I'm honestly trying to think of like a negative. Now that I've been living with this car and I've been driving it for weeks, I've driven and reviewed many other cars for the past couple of years, and usually the downsides are so obvious. Like, oh, the tech is usually pretty bad, like the software is bad, but, well, this is Xiaomi. Like, they make smartphones, they make all this tech already. The software is great. The self-driving works. The cameras are great. The displays are great. All the tech is there.
I mean, everything he showed us so far is it's cool, but not what I expected. When they was talking about it was way better than echoing. What's echoing? The video or me? What is echoing? Look at that out.
And then all the EV fundamentals are also still there. It has the 300 plus miles of range. It has the quick charging.
It shouldn't be echoing no
It
more.
has the split personalities. It has the super chill, calm cruiser mode, and the 600 horsepower brutal launch control, 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
Video.
Sporty mode.
Hang on.
And
Well,
then on
I'll check
top of
after
all that,
this.
it's built super well. Like it has all the sound isolation.
Let me know if it's still
and all of
echoing.
the hardware features and creature comforts and physical buttons and all the modules and all this. And it's like, this feels nothing like a $42,000 car, which I guess conveniently brings me back to the title of this video.
The new iPhone 17 Pro.
Make their
Everything he said so far is
with
that's alright.
AT&T. Get iPhone
That's
17
good.
Pro on us
Okay.
when you trade in your old iPhone.
I'm gonna go back and
Elite
check.
Edition. Most expensive plan not required.
So are we cooked? Not yet,
It's good now.
clearly. This
All
car
right.
is not available here in the US. But you can see how we could be soon. I genuinely, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is a $42,000 car that feels like a $75,000 car if it were made here in the US. And that's the thing that's most impressive about the Xiaomi SU7. And that's just this one. So really now that I've gotten to live with this and drive this here in the US among all the other cars I test, here's my take. It's not that there's any sort of crazy bleeding edge tech in this car that's impossible to replicate. Obviously the software is really good and the modularity and some of the features are kind of sick and we haven't seen them before. But like if you took this car apart, you wouldn't find anything inside, any like bleeding edge battery tech or anything that's impossible to replicate. This is a car made of normal car parts, but it's the putting them all together in one car that's so impressive. It's not often you see a car with great software, great features, great build quality, great versatility, great range, and a great drive, and all stacked together. Like, that's pretty elite. There's basically no question in my mind that if a car like this was available in the US for $42,000, that it would crush, of course. The fact that it isn't is, of course, inherently political, and there's all the tariffs and import fees and all that. That's super variable, and we may never get a car like this available in the US for $42,000. But Europe will, allegedly, in 2027. And I would say that the competition over there is at least in a little bit of trouble when that happens. The idea that the competition is getting stronger and that cars like this actually exist some other places in the world is really exciting and heightens the ceiling for all EVs. It raises the ceiling up for all.
Okay. Quick shame. In the back seat. Yeah. I mean, it was alright. Like, I don't know. You know? Like, it's okay, but not what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be like some super cold, like kind of like the videos I've been seeing. I thought I was talking to be like super cold, but hey, it's alright.